Hey everyone, in today's video, I am sharing 6 of my favorite books to read aloud when teaching students all about how to be brave. The first couple months of the school year, we are really trying to get students comfortable, teach them how to collaborate with one another, teach them how to be kind friends to one another, and those skills, of course, we want to continue, but it is about this time in the year where I really want to encourage my students to be brave, right? To practice that growth mindset and step out of their comfort zone a little, because we are going to be learning some things that might be a little difficult for them. So along with other books that I share for teaching growth mindset, I have a whole video of those right here. I also like to incorporate some books about being brave. So that's what today's video is all about. If you're ready to hear my suggestions, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. I love to read with my students is Jabari Jumps by Gaia Cornwall. I love the story for many different reasons, but it really illustrates bravery in a way that many of your students can relate to. This book is about a little boy named Jabari who goes to the swimming pool with his dad and little sister, and he wants to jump off the diving board today. It is nice and tall. He's been wanting to do it for a while. So when he gets to the ladder to go up, he starts to think, prolong this. He does some stretches, he thinks about it, he watches other kids, and he says, maybe another day I'll do it. So then he finally gets all the way to the top, his toes curl around the edge, and he is ready to take a deep breath and dive on in. Naturally, he is thrilled when he hits the water, and he has so much fun he wants to do it again. Now, not only do I love the illustrations in this book, but also this is a great one to show your students that being brave doesn't mean not being scared of something, but being brave means to be scared of something, but to do it anyway, right? That nervous kind of excitement to kind of push past that, because you can really experience some great things when you're brave. The second book I want to share for teaching about bravery is The Koala Who Could by Rachel Bright. Now, this book of mine is used and abused. I have read it many, many times for many different reasons. I actually love a lot of Rachel Bright's books. They're great for social emotional learning skills, and this one in particular is great for teaching about bravery. It's similar to Jabari Jumps, so let me show you what this one's about. In this story, there's a koala named Kevin who hangs from his tree, and that is just really where he likes things the best. He feels nice and safe up there while everyone else is running around below him and doing different things, and they keep asking him to come out of the tree and come play, and he's like, no thank you, I'd rather be up here. And he's really trying to convince himself that he actually likes it up there better. But a part of him wishes he could be down there with all his other friends. But he's really just scared of what might happen. He can't let go of the branch. Until one day a little woodpecker makes some tap 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 sound on his tree, and he knows what's going to happen. So all his friends are down below and they're saying, jump, jump, it's okay. We will catch you. But Kevin was so scared he felt like he cannot let go. When the tree branch fell and all was said and done, Kevin was so happy to learn that, wait a sec, he's actually just fine. That actually felt pretty good to be down with everybody. And he kind of faced his fears. He realized there's some benefits to being down with all his friends, and now he feels like he can go on a bunch of new adventures. Similar to Jabari Jumps, this book kind of emphasizes the build up of all that fear and emotion that you have before you decide to do something brave. Sometimes all the fear and anxiety you have around things is worse than actually doing the act or whatever you're scared of. And that is kind of what Kevin realizes in this story. Book number 3 is a classic, and it is Sheila Ray the Brave by Kevin Henkes. In this book, Sheila Ray is an older sister, and she is not afraid of anything. All the classic things that many kids are usually scared of, like the dark, thunder and lightning, maybe big animals, things like that, she's not typically scared of. In fact, in her day-to-day life, she seems very, very brave, while her sister Louise is called a scaredy cat by Sheila Ray because she is scared of some of those things. But as the story goes on, Sheila Ray is walking home from school with her little sister following her, and she looks up to find that she is lost. Now, while she hasn't been scared of anything before, this being alone, being lost, not knowing what to do, all of a sudden scares Sheila Ray. And she tries to convince herself by saying, I am brave, I am fearless, but she just kept getting more and more scared until she started to cry. Little did Sheila Ray know that her little sister Louise was actually with her the whole time, and she showed her the way back home. It seems like the tables have really turned here, as Louise seemed like the brave one in this scenario. At the end of the story, they make it back home and they realize that, you know what? We're both actually pretty brave. Now, not only is this a sweet one about taking care of your siblings and those that you love, but I like this because unlike Jabari Jumps and the Koala Who Could, both of those main characters are scared of something from the beginning. But in this story, Sheila Ray's the opposite. She's like, no, I'm not scared of anything. I am so brave, until she realizes and finds something that she is actually scared of, which in this case was being lost, being alone, not knowing what to do. She started to feel pretty nervous. And also in this book, Louise, the younger sister, was the one who was scared of all those things at the beginning that Sheila Ray wasn't scared of, but then she is the one in the end who is brave and takes them home. I think this book is a great one to point out to your students that while you may not be scared of something, somebody else might be, and that doesn't make you better or worse or anything. Everybody kind of has their own things that they might be scared of, but we can all be brave in different ways. The next book I want to share is called Brave as Can Be by Jo Whittick. Now, I have her in my heart book where it talks all about feelings. In fact, I think I mentioned that book as one of my favorites in this video right here, where I share books to share about feelings. But Brave as Can Be is set up in a similar way with these kind of pop-out illustrations here, and the illustrations are great in this book. Now, this is called A Book of Courage, and it's about a little girl who explains all of the things she was scared of when she was little. And your kids are going to relate to a lot of these because they're pretty typical things that kids get scared of. She mentions how she used to be scared of the dark because she would think something was lurking in the shadows. But then on each page, she also gives a reason why she might not be scared anymore. For example, with being scared of the dark, she now says she has a nightlight to help. Sometimes she would be scared of the neighbor's dog because he barks really, really loud and has lots of teeth. But her mom told her to just say hello and keep on walking. She mentions being scared if sometimes she's in public and feels like she maybe lost her mom. She mentions nightmares, which my own two boys are scared of right now. She mentions maybe being a little bit scared on Halloween with all the spookiness and the costumes. But then she also talks about how sometimes it can be fun to be scared, like when her dad tells her spooky stories. She used to be scared of thunder and lightning, but now she realizes that it's just a storm. Basically, on each page of this book, she explains something she used to be scared of, and then a solution to help her kind of face those fears and feel brave. And at the end, she says that, you know what? She used to have this big mountain of fears, but now that I'm a little older, these fears seem a little bit smaller. I love this book because what it does is it really empowers your students to name what they're scared of and also come up with some solutions to kind of conquer those fears, to be brave and recognize that, yes, I am scared of this, and what can I do to help myself, right? It gives them some power over their own feelings. The next book I want to share is called The Thing Lou Couldn't Do by Ashley Spires, and this book is a little bit different when we talk about bravery. The other read-alouds I've shared so far are pretty typical in terms of what kids are usually scared of, things like the dark, jumping off a diving board, you know, something new in terms of that. And those are great because kids are going to relate to them, but I also want to mention some other forms of bravery, and I love using this book to illustrate that along with perseverance. This story is about a little girl named Lou who, her and her friends are brave adventurers. They are fast, they build mighty towers, they can do pretty much anything. And then one day her friends suggest that they climb up a tree. But that is something that Lou has never done before, and she doesn't really think she can do it. So instead, she suggests games that don't involve climbing up a tree. While they play a few of those, all her friends are able to climb up the tree, and Lou is just down at the bottom, making many excuses for not trying to climb up the tree. It seems like she doesn't want to even try because she's scared to fail. Similar to the Koala Who Could, where Kevin was looking down on all his friends and they were having fun off the tree, this is kind of funny because it's the opposite. Lou is standing at the bottom and she's looking at all her friends having fun up in the tree, and she really wants to join them. At the end of the story, Lou finally decides to try and climb the tree. And guess what? She fails. She keeps trying to climb up the tree and she falls and she falls and she falls. But what I love about this story is even at the end, she has not yet made it up the tree, but she keeps trying. Now, like I mentioned before, this book is a clear depiction of perseverance and trying something over and over, even though you're failing at it, like she does with the tree. But I also think this is a great book to share about being brave and trying something new, even when we don't think we can do it. Lou's initial reaction to climbing the tree was to just completely avoid it because she didn't want to fail at it. She didn't want to be bad at something. She's so good at so many things that she didn't want to try something if she knew she was going to fail. But she does end up, psyching herself up, really trying to be brave and trying to climb that tree. And I mentioned this when I was showing you the book, but I love the ending of this because on the last page, she has not made it up the tree, right? It's not really necessarily the happy ending your students are used to where, look, she tried and there she is. At the end of this book, I love that the author, Ashley Spires, still has her kind of low on the tree, but she has that look of determination in her, like she's gonna keep trying no matter what. And last but not least, I have a fun seasonal one for you. This is Gustavo The Shy Ghost. Now, this book can be a great one to add to your October collection, as it is about a ghost if you want to share some spooky things. And Gustavo is the ghost in this book. Now, he enjoys doing many things that other ghosts do, like passing through walls, making things fly, glowing in the dark, and he really loves to play the violin. But there's something about Gustavo, and that is that he's so shy that many things feel incredibly difficult for him. Things like making friends. Gustavo was way too scared to speak to any of the other monsters, even though he tried to get close to them in many different ways. But even when he was right in front of him, they just didn't see him. He really wanted to make some friends, so he decides that he needs to be brave. And while it's terrifying for him, he decides to send a special letter. Since he's so good at playing the violin, he invites a bunch of monsters to come to his violin concert. And he is so nervous as the days go by that nobody's going to show up. And on the day of his violin concert, it seems like his fears have come true and that not a soul has actually come to his concert. So all alone, Gustavo did what he loves the most, and that is to play the violin. And since he loves doing it, you can just see how happy he is. And that's when all of a sudden he gets a little spooked. All the monsters actually came to his concert. Some explained that they were late, others were there hiding, some got lost but they heard the music and saw his glow, so they made their way to their concert. And that moment on, Gustavo's life had changed because people discovered him. People wanted to be friends with him, but he realized he had to put himself out there in order for others to be his friend. I love this story because it touches upon a big part of being brave for your K-2 students, which is when they're feeling shy or when they have to try to make some new friends and build new connections. It can be really difficult to put yourself out there and make new friends with people, and this book really emphasizes the importance of trying that. I also love that in that book when, his worst fear kind of came true to him and he invited everybody to the concert and nobody showed up, or so he thought nobody showed up. He didn't just, sit and cry, which would have been a valid emotion and a valid expression of that emotion. But instead he was like, well, you know what? I put myself out there, I invited everybody, and I'm still going to play my violin because that is what I love to do. And that kind of made him happy on his own before others came and validated him. So there you have 6 of my favorite books for teaching students all about how to be brave. We have some classic ones in there that have been around for a while, but I also wanted to share those ones that kind of pick apart different parts of being brave, like making new friends, trying something you don't think you're going to be good at, and also empowering your students to come up with ways to kind of face their fears. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. This one will go into my picture book suggestions playlist, where I have tons of other videos for all sorts of topics, both academic and social emotional, all sorts of stuff over there, so I'll link that down in the description as well. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up so I know. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and click that bell. That way you're notified of every new video. See you in the next one. Bye.